Hello, everyone. Welcome. Sing along. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. This is Ruth here. Wanted to introduce you to this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful leadership training. And hope you guys are feeling the energy because energy is key. And right now, what we're going to do, we're going to communicate, we're going to connect. So, it's very important that you understand that yes, of course, we are each and every single day are at work and doing our best, and we're striving, and we understand that we have a certain image to perform, but at some time you just want to be you and you want to connect with real people. So that's the reason why I put it some music today, is because I want us to get in touch with our inner child that's within us, right? Our inner child that, after sometimes we just feel like we're in a corporation, that it's not okay for us to be able to show ourselves. But I'm here to teach you that everyone communicates, but very few connect. Now, this particular training has been done by one of the best-selling book from John Maxwell. If you guys don't know who John Maxwell is, he's the number one leader in the world. So he provides, he has God knows how many books, and he has been named as per Inc. magazine as the number one leader in the world. So without further ado, let's dive in and get some training. All right. So I am a certified leadership trainer by John Maxwell. And basically what it means is that by the end of this course, by the end of this webinar, should you choose to move forward, we will be presenting you with an opportunity to join our mastermind, and we'll do so through workshop or mastermind. And by doing so, by training with us, you will also have the ability to have a certification and become a leader of John Maxwell through the training. So, without further ado, let's keep going. All right. Now, for those who wants to dig a bit deeper and are interested in working, moving forward into a mastermind and a workshop, do let us know. Um, as I mentioned, I am a certified coach with one of the John Maxwell team, and coaching is an amazing opportunity to be able to help others. It's very intense, and it allows us to be able to see other people grow through our content. So we're very proud to see how it changes many people's life. So if you want to see result quickly, then this program is for you, right? And it's a real pleasure to be here today, and the pleasure to share some of these ideas with you. And it will be a pleasure to work with you again in the future. So thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and to give it 1,000%. Now, before we move forward, I would like for you to take away any phone that you have available, put your phone on silence, turn it off. This should not take too long. This is just an introduction to get you towards an opportunity to get a little bit of a glimpse as to what the leadership training is all about. Now, the if you ask, it's John Maxwell would say, if you ask me what's the one thing you can do to be more successful, his response would be, I'd say to learn to communicate. Now, only one thing stand between you and greater success in your personal and professional life. It isn't knowledge or skills, experience, or talent. It's your ability to connect with people. There's a common misconception. Now, take a pen and paper and ask yourself, how many of you here want to improve your result? Now, we all want to improve the result. If you want to get better result, you've got to get better at connecting with people. It doesn't matter who you are, you can improve your result by improving your ability to connect and influence people in an ethical way. Now, if you want to improve your relationship with your friend, it's all about connecting. Connecting increases your influence in every situation. We need people. We can't do anything in our own ways in today's world. We need to be able to connect and influence other people to succeed in this world. The friction you experience in your day to day life comes to the leadership, connecting, and influence. You have to be 100% coachable, and you have to be able to want to learn. And leadership and connecting and communicating, it's 100% teachable, right? It's 100% teachable to be able to learn to connect, learn to lead, learn to improve your ability to influence people. That's only if you want to. Now, the common misconception that people think is that certain people are born with the ability to connect. Would you say that is true or that is false? And the thing is that it is true. And certain people have more skills than others. But at the end of the day, anyone can learn to make every communication an opportunity for powerful connection. It's within reach, even though it's out of your comfort zone. Don't give any thought whatsoever to developing your ability to connect. Don't see it as a skills, don't see it as an importance. Wouldn't it be such a problem if people weren't so emotional? Human beings are emotional creatures at heart. We kid ourselves that we are a rational, logical human being, but that's just a facade. We're all emotional creatures, and emotion rules our lives. And why is that a problem? It does that if you push your button, or if you push somebody's button, you need to know that you're going to get them going, right? And whether we are logical or not, there are certain things that each and every single one of us as human creatures react and respond to. And we trigger those options, and we just can't stop ourselves. There's certain triggers that can flip our switch, and that makes us being uncontrollable. There are those red cloud descent and the emotional storm that blows us, right? So some of the summary that's going to be covered today on Everyone Communicating Few Connects. Our powerful learning system split into two parts. More to connecting than we can cover here today. So if you decided you're going to move forward and you want to improve your people skills, your ability to connect, then you have some tools that you could use right away, right after the presentation. Now, in terms of credibility, supports, and social proof, let me ask you, how many of you guys have heard of John Maxwell? I'm sure there's many of you guys that have heard of John Maxwell. In addition to that, who has heard of Ken Blanchard or Stephen Covey, which wrote the 8 Principles of Success? Now, John Maxwell is the #1 New York Times best-selling author, and he has over 100 books. He's been a coach, he's been a speaker, and he sold more than 25 million books in 50 different languages. In 2014, the #1 leader in business in the American Management Association So he's been credited as the number one leader. He's been credited as the most influential leadership expert in the world by Business Insider and Inc. magazine. He is the founder of the John Maxwell Company, the John Maxwell team, and Equipped, which is a leadership training for youth. The John Maxwell Foundation, which is a charity, and he trained more than 5 million leaders. He is the recipient of the Mother Teresa Prize for Global Peace and leadership of the Luminary Leadership Network, speaks every single year to Fortune 500 companies, president, and nation, and many of the world top leaders. Most importantly, John is my friend. I'm actually a business partner, and he's one of my mentor. So the reason why I'm teaching those skills is because I could try and reinvent the wheel. Or like one of my mentors, John Tony Robbins, would say, learn from the best, partner with the best, and be able to share this knowledge to other people that may need it. So one of the most skilled communicator and most important skill connector I've ever met has been John Maxwell. So it is my pleasure to be able to share this knowledge with you all today. Now, the number one criteria for advancement and promotion for professional is the ability to communicate effectively. That's what one of Harvard Business Review once said. Now, I personally have gone through a lot of experiences with communication. French is my first language, and I now speak 8 languages. So if you hear a little bit about French accent, it's because of my different ways of communicating. So I speak French, English, Creole, and I could read Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, and I could read Hebrew. And I'm learning a little bit of Bahasa right now, which is the Indonesian language. So communication is very key to be able to communicate in so many different languages. And by doing so, yes, of course, I make error on a regular basis, but that doesn't stop me to be able to communicate and learn to communicate with others and learn the leadership ways. So what I would like, for you guys to do. So if you know any other languages, don't worry. If you feel that, if you feel a certain way about your communication, don't worry, because this is 100% teachable. Now, you don't need to understand why the techniques of connecting works. You just need to understand the principle that underpins them and then apply them. Now, one principle that is connecting increases your influence in every situation. Each and every single time you connect with somebody, you automatically become a leader and have a way to influence other people. Now, the skills to be able, the 5 skills of qualities of successful of U.S. presidents are the following. First, you must have the vision. Number 2, you must have the pragmatism. Number 3, you must have the consensus building. Number 4, you must have the charisma. And number 5, you must have the trustworthiness. Now, let's put aside our political opinion and bias for a moment and look at the abilities of some of the past presidents. For those of us a little bit older, who might remember Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan. Now, consider the differences in connecting skills between Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter during that election. During their debate, Carter came across as cold and impersonal, consistently quoting facts and figures. In contrast, Ronald Reagan was engaged with the audience and even with Carter. Reagan connected with the audience and the American people and was called the great communicator. Now, another thing that took place was one time, the John Maxwell team, as one of us, we were part of the same team. We were once in Guatemala in 2013 with the with John Maxwell, as well as 175 John Maxwell team coaches, um, where we were able to train 24,000 leaders who would then start the transformation of over 13 million people in Guatemala. Like, this was one of the first time where we were able, the John Maxwell team was able to lead a workshop with an interpreter. And the first day, with the interpreter, Joel mentioned that everything was great. Our timing was right on, and the 50 plus people attended the training was very well. Now, the next day, we had Alicia as our interpreter. And the feeling was confident, and we started talking to the group. And after several minutes, we noticed the stunned face. So we stopped and realized that for a couple of seconds, that Alicia had to interpret, and she looked over her head and she was looking at us stunned with an expression. And we thought, what now? So we took we took two steps towards the group, and we laughed at ourselves and said we messed up. We're not, because what happened is that as we were speaking, we realized that we were not able to connect with the audience. There were some mistakes that were made in the translation, and because of that, we had to start all over again. So some could even relate the making the mistake in front of a group as something that is embarrassing. How can you communicate and make some mistakes? But at the end of the day, everyone has an inner child in them. Everybody understands that people make mistakes, right? So to be able to not only take you, not trying to take yourself too seriously, and put yourself in a position of serving, and recognize your mistake and say, you know what, it's okay, we made some mistakes. Then people connect with that. People connect with people that are able to laugh at themselves, apologize, and go back again, because at the end of the day, we were there to serve. And that was the lesson that was made from that particular experience. Now, connecting is the ability to identify with people and relate to them in a way that increases your influence with them. That's what one of the quotes that John Maxwell would say. Now, we now could relate to each other in a more personal way as a result of our mistake. Some people connect intuitively, they have a very high interpersonal intelligence, and they seem to value people automatically. Others recognize that connecting as important, but lack the tools and techniques they need to learn to do what others do intuitively. Some people don't recognize that connecting is as important at all. They think that they can do it all on their own, that they don't need other people. Why rely on others when it's easier to do it all by yourself? If you know, they feel like they're going to be let down anyway, so might as well just do everything by yourself. How many of you guys feel this way? Which category would you put yourself under? Take 2 seconds and rate yourself. Are you someone that likes to work with other people, or are you someone that likes to do things on your own? Take 2 seconds and evaluate yourself. Now, the better we are able to connect with other people, the better our result. What about a rocket scientist? It won't apply to them, would it? Like, being a scientist is it's a rare skills, right? Or someone who can lead a team of rocket scientists to produce meaningful result in a coordinating fashion. They have to be able to do so on time, on budget, or the CEO of a Rocket Scientist Inc., right? So often the most brilliant people are the most difficult people to lead. So we need people at the end of the day. And people, again, are emotional creatures. It's very important to understand that. We're not logical people. We buy and make decisions based on emotions. Now, what do you do when everyone you are leading or speaking to has different values, belief, or ideas? That happens a lot when you travel and in a different organization. Now, the first thing to do is to outline the problem. A typical leader in an organization, that may be the owner of the company or the leader of his department or any kind of leader within a team. It doesn't matter. Now, in like earlier on, we have to understand that everyone wants to improve their result. So the company owner wants to improve the result. The leader wants to improve his or her result. Everyone in the team wants to improve their result. Now, given that we all are different, we can assume that we all want different results. Now, different results are important to us, aren't they? So we could represent this graphically as an arrow. This person wants to go in that direction, number A. The other person wants to go to this direction, number B, or this person in this direction, number C. The leadership is all about others, and so is connecting. The leader of the organization wants to improve result. If they're not a connector, if they don't value other, tendency to think that the way to improve result is to work harder themselves and tell everyone else to do the same. Now, let me ask you something. Let's take a few moments and pause and ask yourself, how do most people get leadership position in most organizations? Ask yourself a few questions. Now, it's normally based on a technical assessment, isn't it? The best technician get promoted to lead the best team. Now, the trouble is leadership and technical skills are two different skills. Technical skills are technical skills, and leadership is influence, connecting with people, which comes from valuing people. Now, technical skills and valuing people are polar opposite. One is left brain, and the other one is a right brain. The technician simply doesn't see the world that way. Now, if you want people to do what they should, then show them the policy manual, right? That's how a technician would look at things. Moving on. So now we have a graphic here. It shows the productivity and the effort. There is such a thing as the individual effort and team effort. Now, so the leader who can connect work harder themselves. That's a key point, guys. Let's take a moment to sink that in. If you're not a leader, then most likely you're doing everything yourself. Now look at the graphic and look what happens graphically when that happens. The leader works harder, 20% harder, or 30%. What does that do to the overall effort of the team? It goes up very little, doesn't it? Now that makes a big difference to him or her. The big difference to his wife or husband or their family, but very little difference to anything else. Now, the connector realized that if they could just get another 10% out of everyone on the team, then it adds up far more than they contribute by themselves. The connector realized that if they could just get another 10% out of everybody in the team, then this adds up far more than if they can contribute themselves. And as a result, they don't get a divorce, right? So, leadership is influence. Leadership is result through others. It's all about others. But the reason connecting is such a skill, most people complicate than just saying, okay, I'm just going to get more out of others. It's not something that you can just decide or even legislate. For you have to connect. And that's just the number one rule, leadership rule. Now, connecting is more than a skill, than a natural talent. Now, take a moment and ask yourself, where do you rate yourself in terms of your leadership skill out of 10? 1 to 10. Now, anyone can learn to make a very, and everyone can learn how to make every communication opportunity for a powerful connection. It's really just like any other skills. You need to learn the skills and practice it. Now, the next principle we're going to focus on is that connecting is more than just a natural talent. Now, all great speakers were bad speakers at first. Ralph Rivaldo says all great speakers were bad speakers first. Now, connecting is something anyone can learn to do, but one must study communication to improve it. To connect with others, you must make the most of the skills and experience you have. There are several factors that great connectors draw upon to cause people to listen to them. Now, there are 5 factors for connecting. Now, in terms of relationship, who do you know in terms of the first factor? Who you know. So, a quick way to gain credibility with an individual, a group, or an audience, and who you know, which means how can you borrow it from someone who has credibility with them? Who you know that can open the door for you to connect with someone? Ask yourself those questions. Who do you know that has a quick way to gain credibility with an individual, group, and audience? Who do you know? Where can you borrow from someone who has credibility to learn from? And who do you know that can open the door for you to connect with someone? Now, insight. What you know. What do you know? What you know if you share an area of expertise generously with others? What do you know? You give people reason to respect you. And what you know, develop a sense of connection with you. Success. What have you done? People want to be successful. They seek out others who have accomplished something to give them advice. If you are successful in anything you do, there will be people who want to listen to you and connect with you. Your ability. What can you do? If you have a high level of ability in an area, others may want to connect with you because of that ability. It creates excellence connects. An individual who perform at high level in their profession often have instant credibility with others. People admire them. People want to be like them. People feel connected to them. When they speak, others listen. Think about Michael Jordan. He made more money from endorsement than he ever did playing basketball. Is it because of his knowledge or use of product he endorsed? No. It's because of what he can do with a basketball. Now ask yourself, where's your ability skills to connect? Sacrifice. How you have lived. If you've made sacrifice, suffered tragedy, or overcome painful obstacle, many people will relate to you. If you have been able to remain positive yet humble in the midst of life difficulties, others will admire you and connect with you. These five connection factors are just the beginning. You can probably think of other reasons people connect. There may be no single thing more important in our effort to achieve meaningful work and fulfilling relationship than to learn to practice the art of communication. Max De Pree. Take whatever you have, take whatever you have and use it to connect with others. The more factors you have and the better you become at using them, the greater the chance of connecting with people. Play to your strength. Develop your own style. Cultivate whatever skills you can in order to connect with other people. Max De Pree, the author of Leadership is an Art and the former of Herman Miller, said, there may be no single thing more important in our effort to achieve meaningful work and fulfilling relationship than to learn to practice the art of communication. Now, to recap some of the key messages so far, leadership is critical because anything worthwhile you achieve in life, in every area of your life, will it be with through people, everything rises and falls with leadership. And what is leadership? Leadership is influence. And how can I develop my leadership, my ability to influence others? By developing the skills of connecting. And how do I develop my skills of connecting? It's by learning to value others. There is a shift in perception. Take you out of the center. Place others at the centers. Let's take a look at a practice that can help you to connect better. Now, influence is not about impressing people. It is about connecting them. I used to think that it was all about being the best. If you want to lead, you got to be the best. If you want people to listen to you, you've got to impress them. But influence is not about impressing people. It's about connecting with them. It's not a logical thing. It's an emotional thing. Remember we said earlier that people are emotional beings. It's not principally logical. They're principally emotional. To understand how to connect with people emotionally, we need to understand that we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. We're all different. Now, let me try to illustrate what I mean. Now, when you look at this image, take a look at this. Take 5 seconds and decide, what do you see? Now, how many of you see a black urn? Raise your hand. Now, how many of you have seen two people face to face facing each other? It all depends on where your awareness is. Once I said the opposite of what you first saw, did you see the other? But it is the same picture. Isn't that interesting? Now, the same picture viewed differently by different people. Well, if the picture is the same, then the difference must be in the individual, right? Now, there is something different that happens to the average adult that changes the way they see things. That difference is called conditioning. See, we don't see the world as it is, we see it the way that we are. This goes a long way towards explaining why we don't get what we want. We get what we are. The implications for this are enormous, especially if it relates to communication. We all see the world differently. Now, this is a simple example, illustrate a powerful point. We're all different. All see the world differently, have different beliefs, different values, different things that are important to us, different passion, expectation, and tolerance. Now, common ground is the point where everyone needs belief and values intersected. To ignore this when trying to connect is to miss the whole point of connecting. Connector understand this. They know that they have to connect with people on common ground. If I talk to you about my beliefs, my belief or my value, they're not they're not yours. You're probably not that interested intellectually. You're probably not going to be that interested. There's certainly no emotional resonance. You can't relate to me, and you won't have any good feeling about me. Worse yet, if I violate your belief while I do it, not only do you not get a good feeling, you actually get a bad feeling. No one wants to be told what they believe is right or wrong. If you challenge someone's belief directly, you're going to get their backup if that's their core belief system. Now, and because it may be of value to them and it may not be of value to you, and that's their belief, and you might hurt the other person and they might hurt you. So this is the ego in its stripped down, in its raw state. Now it wants to exterminate everyone that doesn't agree with it. If you want to connect with someone, you've got to go to them. You've got to go first. And you need to connect on common ground. Where our beliefs and their intersect, that's common ground. And we can connect with them here. Then take them where we want them to go. If you don't connect, they won't go with you. Now, this takes energy. It takes energy to connect. There's an investment necessary. And that's true of anything in life, isn't it? Anything that's worth pursuing, there is growth. You have to sow if you expect to reap. Now, summary. Now we're going just about a little bit over time, and we're going to have to leave it here. We've covered some points of information that you're not only going to find interested, but some ideas that you can start using right away. But before we finish up, there's keys to any kind of a program of change here. Now, how many of you find any of this information interesting or enjoyable? Okay. Now, there has been a lot of good information, and it has been presented in a presentational ways. But the trouble is, it doesn't have the impact that it needs to have on one simple reason. A change is not an event. It's a process. And overestimating the event, overestimating the process. An event which is important won't develop you as a communicator and connector. It can get you started on becoming better, to develop as a communicator and connector. We're talking about changes in our behavior. Unfortunately, you just can't snap your finger and be changed. I wish I had time today to talk more to you about these principles from the number one best-selling book and author and trainer. And I would love to share more on other principles that are in practice with you. But I want to honor your time, and I want to continue to communicate and connect in the way that I have been. And we can do this intentionally by developing those leadership skills. And to increase our influence and leadership, as a result, to improve our result, to improve the result as a result. Now, what I would like to do is to offer you the opportunity to take it one step further. Um, you've got two choices. You've learned the step by step that you need to take, in order for you to grow your leadership skills to any organization. And you know that in order for you to make any changes, you need to be able to grow your leadership skills to a level that lights you up. Now, I've also shown you all many different ways in order for you to overcome the challenges that you currently have in your organization to be able to connect with people. Now, you have choices. One of them is that you could take this information that I've given you here in this guide, and you can just forget about it, and you can stay stuck and possibly never, learn more, and possibly, use few hundreds of dollars within your organization. Or you can decide to finally take yourself seriously, stop struggling, stop undercharging yourself, stop settling, and make those shifts right now. Now, I know you want more. And inside, you're thinking, I want, the best income, the best lifestyle, the best client result I can possibly have through connecting with my clients and live life purposely and do it so right now. Now, if you really want to achieve these things, not just for yourself, but for the clients you work with, for your teammates, your peer, for your leadership group, if you want to get better results, operate with integrity, and hit income goals that you have, because the more you connect, the better revenue you will have, the more you will grow your organization for yourself as well as for your team. And if you want to break through fears, doubt, and frustration and open the door to massive success, then my team and I have a special offer for you. We've set some times in the next few weeks to speak with you personally and how you can apply these ideas to apply to your organization starting right away. And that's why we desire to speak with you in person, on the phone, and walk you through it step by step. And while we're on the phone, we're able to see where you are in your leadership skills and within your organization. And we'll be able to tell you exactly how to get you to where you are, to where you want to be. Now, I've given you a great overview of how we can connect and help you connect with your clients, and how you can apply these to your company right away. The only left things to do is to get clear, specifically, very, very clear on the challenges and where to develop your leadership skills. Now, in order for you to be able to apply, you have to understand that every organization is different. And as a leadership seeker, you need to know exactly how to apply these skills in a mastermind, and in a mastermind that allows you to participate within a community. That's why we desire to speak with you in person, on the phone, and walk you again step by step. And we'll be able to take your career and business to the next level, and also be able to partner you within a virtual mastermind that'll be able to help you to study. We'll have great program for you to be able to study the leadership skills, from the number one in the world. And not just that, we'll be able to help you network with other like-minded individuals to get you to where you want to be. And these one-on-one strategy calls to understand where your struggling is and where to partner you is absolutely free. That's right, it's absolutely free. So all you have to do is make an appointment, and we'll be able to set you up to see where you are in the business and how can we partner you with other people where you could grow your leadership skills and network with other individuals. And not just that, but at the end of the training, you will also have a leadership certificate. Now, why do you need a mentor, a mastermind, or a community? Now, mentoring brings you new idea. Mentoring brings you confidence and accountability. Mentoring gives you the exact strategy to reach your goal in the shortest amount of time. Mentoring keeps you out of being overwhelmed, doubt, and fear. And mentoring is fun. You have an ally in your career and your business. Now, this is not for everyone. We're looking for people that are, number one, passionate about being a leader and connecting with people, someone that have a deep desire of being of service and make an impact in other people's life. We want to work with people that are passionate about helping people make more impact in the world and attract more income in their life. And these are the people that we want to help. Number two, you need to be able to provide real value to your organization. You need to be driven and ready to make a real impact in the world. And number four, you must be an action taker. If you would like to kick tires, spin wheels, and just daydream about becoming a leader, then please do not apply. Now, you don't have to worry about many things. We figured everything out. Again, this is a blueprint system that has been studied and tried and true. And we're looking at content from the number one in the world, from New York best-selling in the world. These are proven strategy that have created millions and millions of trainers that have helped many organizations. So you don't need to have previous training experiences. We're going to be able to help you. So just by connecting with us over the phone call, we'll be able to put you with the right mastermind that will be able to help you bring result, right? And again, this is not for everyone, and we want to make sure that we keep 100% client success rate. So it's very important that when you do apply for a free call, that you apply with the opportunity and with the mindset to take your leadership, and we'll be able to connect with other people very seriously. Now, on these calls, we'll lay out a plan and we'll see which unique training pathway and pinpoint your sweet spot. Where you are right now, and where do you need to be, and which mastermind is the best one for you. Now, this is your chance to break through. Again, we have set aside some time to talk to you and how you can apply these changes to your career or business starting today. The cost is free. I gave you those leadership laws, but the truth is that you need to apply these laws to your business in order for you to make some changes. So if you go to www.ruthdorsonville.com/leadership training, we'll be able to help you to take your business forward. So this is Ruth Dorsonville. I want to thank you for the time. So I'm the CEO of the DNA Staffing Companies. I myself have been in the recruiting staffing industry for the past 15 years. I'm the founder of the Millionaire Recruiter Club. I'm a founder as well of the Virtual Assistant Network. So I've built a few businesses, but I'm also a proud partner of the John Maxwell team to be able to help create other leaders in the world. So I hope this was of value to you. And again, feel free to schedule your free 30-minute strategy session at www.ruthdorsonville.com/leadership #training. This is Ruth signing out. reminding you that success is in your DNA. Thank you.